Hey guys, how's it going? I wanted to just do a quick project video on my spare tire holder for the spare tire on the Dodge truck. Now the way this works is this is supposed to, from the underside of the truck, kind of nestle in here and get a good grip on the spare tire so that when it gets pulled up it doesn't shift around or move anything. Just for curiosity's sake, I'll show you guys. The way this works is there's a little drive shaft that comes out from underneath the bumper with a piece of cable that comes down, and then a little retaining guy that pulls up against that spare tire holder bracket piece. Now mine obviously has fallen apart, so the plan will probably be cut this out and then over on the spare tire probably just get a piece of flat bar across of it. I'm gonna have to drill a hole through it so that I can route that cable around it and then weld it back up through the middle around the cable, because I don't think I can unwind that. So I'm just gonna take some 1/8 inch thickness steel, drill a couple holes, cut a couple pieces, and then maybe clean up this tire a bit. It has most certainly seen some better days, so just want to get things in a little bit better condition. I know I can buy these for like 40 bucks, but I figured why not have a little fun, break out the welder and make a project out of it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So what the plan is I've measured out 6 inches. I measured 5 inches before, but I don't think it's enough. I'm gonna measure 6 inches, cut it straight across, round off the corners so I don't cut myself or anything. And then in the center of that, I will drill a hole big enough for that cable to pass through, but enough that the end stop can't pass through it. And then slice it through that hole, place it around the cable, weld it on, because otherwise I can't run out the entire cable length and feed it back through from the other side. It's got rivets on it and I don't feel like drilling those rivets out. Anyway, this is a fun project, but that's the game plan, so let's get it started and see how it goes. Alright, so the hole is 11/64, but I'm just gonna go up to 3/4 to give, or I'm sorry, 1/4 inch, just to give myself a little extra wiggle room. So let me find roughly center on here and I will drill a 1/4 inch hole. I'm going to center punch this to make it a little bit easier. Okay, so as with all projects, I made a miscalculation. There is a little bit of a ridge here for where the old holder came up against to allow that to come through. And if I take my version, which by the way works perfectly fine just around the cable, I hit out against this, and I'm not terribly wild about pulling up on that thin of an edge, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut out this hole a little bit more so that it fits a little bit more snug down around this wider plate. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut a little bit of material out and see where I get to. So I did a little measuring this time, and I need the equivalent of a 12mm hole, sized hole, for where I'm cutting into. So I'm just gonna do a little guesstimating. Much better. So now it's time to get this magneted up with some magnets, do some tack welds, and then weld it together. We'll see how it holds up. Okay, I've got my welder and my steel all ready to go. So let's give this a shot. All right. There you have it. All done. Okay, so the welds turned out okay. I'm gonna throw a couple pictures up here just so that you can see. I added 2 strips on the back just because I was concerned it wasn't going to hold up with just welds on either side. So I think those strips will add a lot of structural integrity there. So while I'm waiting for that to cool down so I can paint it, I'm just going to clean this up with a wire wheel. I'm gonna get a face mask and some gloves. Oh my god. I don't even know why I'm doing this. This thing is so rusted. Okay, so I've got my hanger. Get my wheel in place, roughly. You see if it goes through. Well, a hot dog. That works. Back up a little bit. So now comes the fun part. I had an adapter for this, for the back of the bolt, or rather the rod at one point. I 3D printed it, but I snapped it accidentally. So Doing it by hand for now. Slow and steady wins the race, I think. All right, that's how you do that. So it took a little bit longer than I would have liked, and then it started raining out of nowhere. There was like a huge thunderstorm that came through, so I didn't get to do this in the sunlight, so sorry if the lighting is a little bit bad. But anyway, got that sucker in. I think that's gonna hold really well. I don't feel any flexing or anything in there at all. Like I said, I don't have my little adapter piece for up and out the back of the license plate. But anyway, I hope that was a fun project to watch along with, and hopefully you learned maybe a little bit something about measuring and measure. How many times do you measure? Okay, so as with all projects, I made a miscalculation. Measure twice, cut once. That's what I'm supposed to do. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and like, subscribe, all that crap to make me feel good about myself. So anyway, stay tuned for the next project.